watching the Weather Channel for accurate forecasts at your convenience. Weather you can always turn to. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current conditions. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Forecast for cities nationwide. The extended forecast.
A few short years ago, Stephen Neal was elected president of the country's largest mail-order company that strictly sells electric beds.
You know, I'm really a lucky guy. I've been blessed with 2 healthy children and a loving wife for over 20 years, and people just love our beds. Each week, we receive hundreds of letters from our customers. Here's a letter from an Edna Yagoda. Unlike other companies, you didn't try to high-pressure me into a quick decision by sending a salesman to my home. Your prices were surprisingly affordable and easily beat the competition. Also, that 30-day money-back guarantee and 15-year warranty proved I couldn't go wrong. Now, Fred Wyndham writes, your Wonder Bed is a dream come true. I raise my upper body for my hiatal hernia and elevate my knees for my lower back problem. You see, with absolutely no cost or obligation, all we want to do is send you our free video and brochure. Then it's up to you to decide if you're interested or not. So give us a call today.
As we look into the tropics, we'll start on the Pacific side where we have a tropical storm, Dora, that continues to wind down. This is what's left of Dora, just barely a tropical storm, winds of 50 miles an hour. It is heading west-northwest toward colder waters, not going to affect any land areas, at least it doesn't look so at this point. Should continue to move on northwest, and over the next day or so, we'll probably will not be talking about Dora anymore. But on its heels, a strong hurricane, Hurricane Eugene, with winds of 115 miles an hour. It is to the southwest of Cabo San Lucas. It also is making its way to the northwest. It'll stay over warm water for the next day, about 24 hours, and that should continue to hold its strength, and then eventually it will also move into colder waters and start to dissipate again before it affects any land mass, and that is some good news. Taking a look at the satellite picture of both of these systems, you can see here that Dora doesn't look very impressive at all. It is falling apart as it moves into colder waters. It looks like a bit of a south to southwest wind kind of ripping it apart just a bit. But Eugene still looking quite strong, moving generally on toward the looks like a little more north of west here as it continues to head in that direction. It will eventually encounter some cooler waters, and it should start to deteriorate, say, at about 48 hours or so. But for the next 24 hours, it'll probably hold its own as it continues to head its way on toward the northwest. Checking on the Atlantic side, pretty strong east to west winds across the Caribbean, so anything that would try to form here would probably get sheared off from the east. And we've got one tropical wave moving toward the Yucatan Peninsula, and that is now making its way on land and is not expected to develop. into the central Caribbean, not much going on right now, but as we head our way a little bit farther to the east, tropical wave was looking a little more impressive earlier today. It is making its way into South America now. And there's a little bit of a weak trough in the eastern Caribbean, so we weren't expecting it to develop. And now that it is moving on shore, we're not expecting much of that system. We have another tropical wave here in the central Atlantic, another one coming off the African coast. And we've had a very active season in terms of systems coming off the African coast. And as we head into August and these water temperatures start to warm up, we'll be a little more concerned about these systems because the atmospheric conditions are favorable for development in this area. So if this continues, it may have more concern as we head into August. But right now, just watching the waves, plenty of time to watch them as they move across the Atlantic. Let's take a close look at the Pacific forecast, and to be specific. And we've got a weak area of low pressure in the upper atmosphere that'll come on to the northwest coast, and not going to bring much more than a little more instability. So look for maybe some more clouds bubbling up in the afternoon, and maybe a shower or thunder shower from the Puget Sound down through the Columbia River Gorge. Well, things aren't going to change much in Southern California. They'll generally have the morning low clouds, the fog spreading inland and even into some of the valleys, the San Bernardino, San Gabriel valleys. Some clouds in the morning, a little fog and hazy sunshine for the afternoon. San Bernardino about 90 degrees. The Civic Center will get to about 82, and down towards San Diego in Southern California, 78 degrees. Heading on up the coast, San Francisco Bay will have some patchy morning low clouds, but most of that will burn off by midday. The interior valleys will be quite warm, up to 91 in Sacramento, 95 degrees at Fresno, and San Francisco and Monterey rounding out at about 70 degrees. As we head to the northwest, here's where that instability comes in. It'll still be a fairly warm day overall. There may be some drizzle along the coast in the morning. Then the showers will pop up in the afternoon hours, especially around Salem and on into the mountains. So that's the way it looks for the west coast. We'll take you traveling for the entire country next.